Alright, we're ripping. Today we're going to be listening to Identity Crisis by Rumari. This is his debut album. We're going to be giving it my first impressions. It just dropped yesterday, as of recording, Saturday the 4th. So yeah, I think bro dropped on Friday. Found this guy on Instagram. I just got to hand it to him, bro. Your promo has been sick, dog. It's definitely got me hooked. I've been waiting on the drop. Alright, we're going to get the bubbly cracking real quick, and let's get right into it with the intro, and just going to give you my first impressions, alright? So here we go. Now I know this intro slaps. I know this slaps.
Has something to work on, Nana.
Guessing that's his mom.
It looks, it really doesn't matter.
I really like that reverb fade out. That was nice. Wait, was I supposed to do that? That's so fire, dude. Man, this is really clean so far. Oh, this went into the other song. Damn. I wish I could tell you I can buy you better emotion. Damn. So I didn't even realize that was the intro and the first song, which I believe is called Jaded. I meant to go song by song. I didn't even realize that flowed so well into the first song. That was clean, bro. Like, I knew from the clips that I saw that I was expecting some good production. Like, I kind of knew a little bit what I was getting into, but damn, that was really impressive. Okay, let's just talk about the intro real quick. Low-key, I'm not a big fan of intros. I just find it like, put the fries in the bag, little bro. Like, I'm just trying to hear your music. But this one was a little different, because I guess I go into it knowing that this was his first album. But man, just hearing his mom talk about that and supporting him in the way she did, the reverb fade out, like how her voice fades out, that kind of hit me a little bit. I really like that. All right, and for Jaded, what's that, dude? The intro for Jaded is sick. I see why he's been using that as most of his promo. The promo that I've seen has all been like that intro, like the da-na-na, 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 you know, like whatever the hell that is. Super clean. I will say the song did get like a little experimental, maybe like too experimental for my taste. I do like experimental shit. I do mess with it and I can get behind it, but at some point I just kind of need a fire beat, like keep the drums going, keep the pace going. Obviously I love when a song has a breakdown. You don't need to have a continuous beat the whole way through, but I think that's my only criticism, is like the flow could have been a little better. I wasn't a huge fan of the experimental bits that kind of stopped the momentum of the song, I guess. Let's get into the third track. This is called Time. I think this is his most played song ever. I believe this was a single that he's already released. Got like 55,000 plays on YouTube Music, but let's get right into this. Let's just get right into it.
I was ready to say goodbye.
Love the vocals, dude. Love the vocals. Okay. Mildly disappointed by the drop. Mildly.
Sorry that I got away.
Okay. That was fire, man. Holy shit. Damn. That was weird. That was weird. This is heat. Damn. There's a little more. Damn, bro. I can see why that's your most played song. Right off the bat, though, I was a little disappointed by that first drop, but my God, you definitely made up for it on that second drop. Really good, dude. That mixing, I definitely heard like a little bit of Two Hollis inspiration there, like with those vocal chops you were doing, and the reverb definitely has some Two Hollis inspiration. Not a bad thing. Did that very well, not stepping on anyone's territory. Another thing I can, what the fuck? Give me a sec. That distortion that came in, like maybe about like halfway through the song, like a third into the song, very clean, very nice. Definitely my favorite part of what is coming out of the underground right now, like a lot of that distorted stuff. You're not overusing that sound at all. Very impressive, my guy. I fucks with it. And low-key, I didn't mention this earlier, but I'm definitely a beat guy, less of a vocals guy. So on the first impression, I'm mainly listening to the beat. Vocals to me are almost like another instrument. Like sometimes I hear the words, but low-key, I'm not really paying attention. So the beat is what's standing out to me the most. And I'm pretty sure this guy produced his whole album. I'm just kind of assuming right there based off his reels. So far, I'm very impressed. So let's get into song number 4, which is called Uncertainty. Not my favorite so far. very experimental. Okay. Okay. That was cool. This part's sick. This is sick.
What are you doing now? What are you doing now? What are you doing now?
That was definitely the weakest outro. It was a very like wimpy sounding end, you know what I mean? Not very fitting for what the rest of the song was. The whole song itself, definitely not my vibe, but I could still appreciate there was some really good production there. Like I liked that snare hit that almost sounded like electricity. Like I don't know what the fuck you described that as, but I really like that sound. A lot of good production here. This sounded like all of my least favorite parts of Tu Hollis in a song. But maybe that's just my personal preference there. This song is not for me. One thing I will say that this song emphasized a lot is that Rumari's music so far that I can hear, it's not static. It doesn't stay the same. Like there's no loops. Like this shit evolves throughout the song. Like halfway through you can almost expect some massive bass to come in, different changing, definitely some experimental drums in the latter half. I know he doesn't use FL. You saw it in the reel. I don't know what DAW that was. I mess with it low key, but like I wouldn't add it to my playlist. It would go into like the when I need to hear some new shit kind of playlist. This is not my everyday go-to, but I recognize the production on this. All right, let's get on to the next track here, number 5, called Habits.
Why don't you tell me what you mean to me?
This is clean. Intro is a little cringy, just a little.
Find me where you
Okay.
wanna feel like
I really fuck with his vibe though.
every time that I don't
See, you don't know where it's gonna go. It's changing right now. This is when the vocals work. Yeah, this is fire. Okay, right off the bat, I'm not a fan of that like beatboxing. Not a fan of that at all. I don't think that really fit. One of my top songs so far. I really like the vibe of this one. In like the first half of the song, the kick was like maybe a little too punchy. I do really love when that kick is like punching and almost clipping and like distorting a bit, but that first half of the song, I feel like it didn't quite fit the vibe and it almost took away from the vibe. So that's the best I can say. Once we started getting that really heavy bass in, the clipping drum, like the kick, that worked. Also, I'm hearing a lot more, I'm just gonna call them Tu Hollis vocals. There were some points in the song that it really didn't work. There's only one time that I really noticed that didn't work, but like when it's really open and that bass is in there and everything's moving, that's when it really sits well in the mix there. Let's get into song number 6, I believe. It's called Association. Okay, interesting intro. I thought with it. I like this a lot. This is fire. Yo, this is my favorite song so far. I mean, who needs hi-hats anyways when you got like clipping, whatever the hell that was. The guitars, vocals sounded so airy, so vibey, cutting it in and out. This is top tier, my guy. This is my favorite song so far. Dude, I literally had to stop and look around me right now. That just hit me and I needed to, like, I don't know. I just needed to like look around and enjoy the vibe that this song was setting. I feel like it matched where I was. That was a beautiful song. Let's get into number 7 here called, Chimera? I do not know what the hell that word is. Let's just get into it though. Song number 7. I was not into that during the intro. I think it was like something to do with the bass sound. It just kind of sounded like you were gonna go a different direction, but then you like brought it back to exactly what the rest of the album has been. And whenever those bells came in, anytime that came on, I smiled, dude. This one had some really good potential to it. Not my favorite. It wasn't bad. It It wasn't bad at all. I can't really put into words how I felt about that one. Had me in the first half, not gonna lie. You had me in the first half, but you pulled through, brought it back to what I was expecting, and that was some fire shit. Right, let's get into it. Song number 8 called Maturity. Okay, not a fan of that intro. Bro, you always trick me, bro. This is tricking me. Nah, this ain't it. Hey, this is a great song to bring it up. The intros to most of these songs, I'm not really messing with at all. Then once we get halfway or like a third into the song, then it switches to production that I really mess with. Don't know if that's maybe just our tastes are a little different and maybe I'm just missing what's going on in the first half. Yeah, the intros to a lot of these songs, it feels like they're missing something and it's almost like wait for it to get good. Not a big fan of that, low key. So I just kind of got to put that out there. But the production on this album and this song, but the album more generally so far has been really top tier. But we have to get like 30 seconds, 40 seconds into the song, and then I'm really messing with it. The outro to this one, kind of weak, definitely not the worst. I would say the intros to a lot of these songs, in my opinion, don't work. The intros are not captivating, they're not, it's turning me off. The intros are kind of a turn off, but then once we get into it, I'm loving it, and it's super fire. I'm indifferent because the intro to this song really turned me off. Let me give it another listen real quick. That is bad. Do not do that. Just start it right there. You can still hear the metronome though. What am I, like 12 seconds in right now? You can still hear it. Doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. All right, let's get on to song number 9, Rewrite.
I think I got my swag up there. You got no appetite.
Fantastic intro. That's really nice. I don't like that drone, whatever that was. I didn't like that.
I don't think you said enough. We should do dramatic. I don't think you said
Probably one of my favorites so far. This is one of those songs where it's like, don't take this the wrong way, it feels like an actual song, you know what I mean? Definitely feels like one of those songs where I would play it and try to learn the lyrics, you know? Like, I haven't really felt that way about the previous songs, but this song just had some catchy melodies. Let me try and find exactly where it is. There was a moment right here, around like the 1:30 mark, 1 minute 30 second mark. I really like those vocals, so I'm not sure if that was the other guy who's on here, Sean Matthews. I don't know what that was, but those were my favorite vocals on the album so far. So Rumari, if that was you, bro, I would recommend you do that a lot more. I do like the singing stuff, but the cadence of that voice and whatever, like, that was really good. And I apologize if that's the Sean Matthews guy. And if it is you, Sean Matthews, W my guy. I'm gonna check you out. No sus. Fire intro, fire outro. This was really good all the way through. My only complaint would be at some point during the halfway minute mark, there was like this, and then like faded out. And it almost sounded like a lawnmower. That did not work for me. Everything else about this was like very airy, very punchy. Those drums are punchy. Vocals were sick. Everything's on point. This does not feel like a debut album. I could tell you worked really hard on this. A lot of effects. The vocals always sound crisp, man. There's always some kind of like neat kind of effect. It's never just dry vocals. It's always either got like some kind of reverb, some kind of distortion, something on it. That guitar that came in at the end, that like electric guitar, that was really nice. Very clean, fit the vibe very well, tied it off at the end. Really loving this so far. So let's get into song number 10. It's called Identity Crisis. So what is that, like the album title? The title song, same title as the album, Identity Crisis, song number 10. Let's get right into that. That's how you do an intro. This is how you do it. I've seen a promo of this.
And if I turn into a mind player, I turn into a mind player.
Damn, you just never know where this is gonna go. I don't like the floor to the floor stuff. Yeah. This sounds so. This could be a song on its own. Just this.
You just have to enter.
But it won't let me end it.
Very well done. The past two tracks, those guitar outros, really mess with that. This intro was my favorite in the whole song. My only criticism is like the floor to the floor drums that came before like the actual drums started. Not a fan of that. I think it would be more effective if it was used a little more sparingly. It's just not my style of music, so it kind of stands out to me. It's kind of hard to get like a groove to. Once the actual drums started, actual drums, you know what I mean? Once those drums started kicking in, that was where we were actually living. I felt like there was 3 songs in here, bro. The vibe switching, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Like I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it. It leaves me wanting more, which is good. Like I think that's a really good thing. At the same time, it's like 2/3 into the song, I'm hearing something that it sounds fire on its own. I would much prefer seeing that little section kind of expanded a little bit and maybe just be like a 1 minute 20-second song. Could definitely stand alone. There's a lot of parts in this and other songs too, but this one I find specifically switched vibes like a little bit more than the other ones, and I may have preferred it as like a standalone thing. Knowing that it's the title song, I kind of get what he was doing here. It's like a journey. It's not just a song, it takes you places. Sorry if that's cringy. My only criticism is that floor to the floor drum. But let's get into the 11th song here, titled One. Final song.
It's been channeled to something good. And I think they're
Classic
doing a
bookend.
phenomenal job.
Classic bookend.
It's all over now.
It's all over now. Okay, what the hell? Wow, that last one definitely felt like just a really good send-off to the album. Ha, no notes. The bookend of what I believe is his mom, I think she said that she's glad he channeled his energy or something like that. Kind of ties it together in a nice little bow on it. I like that. I definitely was not expecting that ramp up near the end. Like it really picks up, the drums come back in. Most of this track was very like vibey, very melodic. Very impressed by Rumari's debut album. This kind of acted as his outro very clearly, even though it wasn't titled outro, which I think is a good call. And it begs the question, for his second album, the outro, is it going to be called 2? Is it going to be called 2? I don't know, man. I don't know why it's called 1 when it's the 11th song, unless it's the bookend to album number 1. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I can think of. So that's a little prediction. Dropping that down in the theory. Let's see if that comes true. Really great album. Really great production all the way through. It's kind of hard to believe that's a debut album, man. Kind of puts a lot of people to shame, myself included. Album itself, it's 11 tracks, 27 minutes. Beautiful. I love that. That's a perfect amount. I do not like bloated albums. You can have a 20-minute album, but man, I do not want to listen to like more than an hour. If it's more than an hour, I'm brain. What's that called? Like I got low attention span. Songs under 2 minutes, around 2 minutes. There's a lot of those. It's the last 3 that reach over 3 minutes. I really like that decision. Honestly, I like shorter songs. I think it works a lot better in kind of today's climate, if you will. Today's warming climate. Let's just talk about the cover art real quick. It definitely does match like a lot of the vibes that I've been kind of picking up on. I feel like I have a little bit of synesthesia. If y'all don't know what that is, it's like associating sound with colors. I associate sounds with kind of like landscapes or settings, kind of like the ideal place I would want to listen to a song. From what we look here, it looks like he's crouched up on what seems to be some hill with the sun behind him. It definitely matches a lot of the vibes I got here. I mean, look where I am. I mean, I had to stop and literally look around because the music was just putting me in such a good feel. I had to look at some good scenery just to appreciate it. So I definitely think this album cover does kind of capture that vibe, but it's kind of missing something. Like I like the clouds. I like how it's popping through. Maybe I think it just needs a little more color. Like I don't think your album is as gray as this album cover looks. I feel like the cover art could use maybe a little more color, a little more saturation, make it pop a little bit. But other than that, I think this is a really good cover art. It kind of encapsulates what we're getting at. it just has a little bit too much. It looks like phase 1 Marvel, you know what I mean? It needs to look more like phase 4 Marvel, like, you know, where everything's super saturated and kind of crazy. Maybe like somewhere between phase 1 and phase 4 Marvel. I hate that's how I'm judging it, but I hope you understand. Good cover art. It's got bro in it. I can't quite think of anything that associates like what he's doing with the music itself. I'd probably have to listen to the lyrics a little more to kind of see if like him crouching on a hill like relates to a lot of the lyrics. I mean, it's called Identity Crisis, so maybe he's like soul searching or something. This is first impressions, you know what I mean? This isn't a deep dive, this isn't a breakdown, this is first impressions strictly. Alrighty, that's gonna be it, everybody. That was Identity Crisis by Rumari. Incredible debut album, honestly. I kind of still can't believe that. Someone go check if he's got like a burner account or if this is like a second try. Like, I don't know. If it is, bro, I'm not dogging, but someone fact check this. Is this a true debut? Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and let me know what you guys thought below. There's gonna be links below to his YouTube channel, to his Apple Music, all his accounts, his Instagram. I'm gonna try and link as much of his stuff as I can. Hopefully this doesn't get copyrighted. Rumari, bro, do not sue me. I'm not trying to steal your music, dude. I'm a fan. I'm a fan now. I'll be looking out for you, bro. If you have any other albums that you want me to do first impressions on, drop that below. I will see you guys next time, and peace out, all right?